morning. I'm going to go ahead and go through the analysis of play assignment that is required in theories of play. So I'm going through the syllabus. If you want to pull that up or print it out, and I'll go through it with you. Here you can follow along with me. So let's get through the syllabus to the analysis of play assignment. So you can see that the analysis of play, this is a hat assignment. It's been broken up into pieces for you. So you can read over the description of the assignment and the procedures. It's in 4 parts, and how you format it is pretty standard. It's just got to be written as a paper, as a professional document, so to speak, for a college assignment. So your first submission, by now you will have chosen your observation site. You'll set up your observation hours, and you want to be strategic about this because the assignment takes place in 3 parts related to the observations. The first observation is 1 hour in an infant toddler space. Toddler is all the way to 36 months. So if you're in a 3-year-old space or a room with 3-year-olds, you're fine. Some schools have 3 to 5-year-old classrooms. That would be fine. And that would also qualify as a preschool classroom. So you would be in the room with, as long as there are 3-year-olds in there, and you can check when you talk to them about this assignment and your observation needs. For this first analysis of play submission, you will do 2 hours. So you'll be looking at a longer observation time than the other ones require you to do. The second and third one are only 1 hour. So for this one, you are in 2 hours. If you're at a site that has infant toddler spaces with younger children who are maybe, mobile, they're walking, but they're approaching age 2, or 2 to 3-year-olds. There are some schools that have just 2-year-old classrooms. Go ahead and spend time in one of those, and then an older classroom with 4 and 5-year-olds or 3 to 5-year-olds. So if you have the opportunity to really see different ages, it's a great thing to be able to do. But I know people have busy schedules, work lives, so I try to be flexible about that. For this observation, you'll be focusing on Parton's stages of play, which are covered by now in the course. So you should know those and have written a little bit about those in your journal, and hopefully you'll see that that's a pretty easy thing to observe. Those are not really connected to ages, although we do see more solitary play, of course, with younger children than older children. But you can still see all stages of play in any classroom space. So focus on all the stages in every classroom you go in from Parton. And basically, you're going to start by recording. You'll see here classroom name, time, date, description of the environment. And for each hour-long observation, you'll take notes, focus on what you saw children doing while they played. So you want to be sure you schedule this when you see them playing, not in large group time, not at lunch, not napping, of course. So you want to ask, I need to see children playing, and make sure you may be able to see them outside, but you want to be sure that you emphasize with the partner site that you need to come at a time when children are actually playing, not doing adult-led activities. That's really important. Otherwise, you won't be able to do this, because you won't be able to take notes on children playing if they're not playing or being allowed to play. So be careful with that. Once you've written all your notes up, you'll be typing those up. So you can write them any way you prefer to. Then you're going to write your paper. Of course, it just follows the usual rules of a good college, professional type paper. For your headings, you're going to begin by summarizing Parton's theory of play and describe each of the stages. If you use references, make sure you cite them, but you don't need to. This can really just be in your own words and very informal. Then you're going to describe the classroom as your second heading. So your second heading in the paper is classroom description, and then here are all the things that you would include. And then classroom observation is your next heading, and here are all of the things you would include. Then you're going to do, of course, you're going to see a second hour. So if you stay in the same classroom, that's fine. You'll just say, I stayed in the same classroom for classroom 2, and you can just skip, you can cut and paste the description because it'll be the same. And then for the observation, it would be your second hour. And you'll, if you're in a different classroom because it's a different age, of course, you're going to need to write the description and observation for that. So that is your first assignment. Then in a few weeks, you'll be asked to do another observation for 1 hour, this time in a preschool classroom, ages 3 to 5. So this will be a little different. If you want to do infant toddlers, just let me know and I'll be happy to work with you on that if you have a special interest in that. So just let me know and we can switch that if you want to. I'm open to that for sure if that's your interest. Then we're going to look at schemas of play. By now you'll have looked at loose parts play with infants and toddlers and preschoolers, and you'll have a chart in your weekly content that goes over all of the schemas of play, and I'll be giving you a recording to go over them too, to explain them a little further to you, and then the kinds of things that support those schemas of play. And when you go to observe this time, you may want to print that out and bring it with you, and so that you can mark when you see things as you observe. Same process exactly. You have your headings and directions. Summarize. You're going to give me a summary of the schemas of play and give an example of each, which should be really easy to do after the observation. You don't have to give a long description, just a simple one, like 1-sentence example, because you're going to go into your description when you share your observations. Your classroom description, same as last time. Classroom observation, same as last time. You're going to just send me your write-up of what you observed. So you take your notes and make it a story. Tell me the story of what you saw. Just keep, it's fine. Just, you know, I saw this, then I saw this, then I saw this, and tell me what schema of play that would fall under. Sometimes you're going to see kids doing all kinds of schemas of play at one time. That's great. Just tell me that. So that's your second assignment. Then a couple of weeks later, you're going to do analysis of play 3. And by now you will have read and had content in the course that helps you understand the role of a teacher, an adult in children's play, or the non-role as it might be. There's lots of different strategies and there's a wide spectrum of involvement that can happen. So your first heading will be to summarize that. You'll have the classroom description, same as usual, and the classroom observation, except this time you're going to record the teacher's activity and adult activity. And I want you to be very specific about that. Share when the teacher stepped in and when they didn't. And again, this is during playtime. So you may see the teacher not, a lot of people watch teachers who are actually doing the right thing during playtime and say, well, they didn't do anything. That might be exactly what's the right thing to do. And so that's fine. But just keep an eye on what the teacher does and does not do. And if the teacher doesn't do things that you would have thought they might, you can write about that. Say, wow, I would have thought they would have done this, but then they didn't do that. And think about what you've read and understood from the course that might explain that. Use what you know from the course to explain what you see the teacher doing. So that is analysis of play submission number 3. Your final submission will be a summary of all your experiences, and that will come very close to the end of the semester, and it will set the stage for you to create your activity plan, which is another assignment that I won't go into here. I just want you to understand the 3 pieces where you're going to need to do observations. So I hope that was helpful in helping you choose a site. Your forest paper reflection is another forest school paper I'm not going to go into now. You're just basically going to choose one of those 2 sites, most likely based on location and convenience for you. And so I'm not as concerned about you picking the right site for that.